Welcome back to another episode of the Scoop Around the Loop. It is raining outside, so what better thing to do than podcast with your good friends? We have Brady here today. Brady, how's your day going?
It's going good, Thomas. How are you doing?
I am killing it as always. We have a busy Thursday ahead, and I'm excited to talk about some of the stuff we have planned on this podcast. Tyler, how is your day going?
My day is going all right. It's rainy, like you said, but I don't mind it. My birthday weekend is this weekend. I need this rain to come and go, but it doesn't look like it's going to go. It seems like it's just going to keep raining all weekend long. In addition to that, I'm taking these coaching classes, this coaching course, so I can coach freshman basketball. And the head varsity coach told me that you just click through these things and take quizzes, but I'm working through this and it's actually making me submit assignments and stuff. And so I'm kind of annoyed, to be honest. I'm having to actually type up.
Are we telling people where you're coaching yet, or is that staying on the down low for now?
No, I don't care. Johnston High School.
Let's go.
Right down the street from me. I'm excited. Hopefully we don't suck.
You need to work on your press conference etiquette here. You're excited about the young men that are coming in. They're going to play hard.
That's the truth, though. Hopefully we don't suck. Hopefully I don't suck at coaching, too.
I have no doubts that you're going to be a great basketball coach, Tyler. What plans is the rain going to ruin? I know you were planning on going to the state fair.
Just being outside. We're having a bunch of friends come over Saturday night. I told my neighbor all I'm trying to do during the day on my birthday is swim at his pool. And he said that's okay, but I'm not gonna do that if it's raining. So, but yeah, the state fair too. I mean, I've been to the state fair in the rain. It's not the biggest deal as long as it's just not pouring down rain. Just bring an umbrella or whatever, but I'd like it to be sunny.
The craft beer tent is famously a tent, so you can still hit that up.
Yep, and we got Isaiah, and he's just been going on and on and on about looking at the livestock. He doesn't say livestock, but the pigs and the cows and the sheep, and those are also under a canopy. So, but I'd imagine it gets to smelling. I guess I don't know if it smells any better than when it's 100 degrees outside, but moisture plus pig poop all day. I don't know.
Especially if it rains and then starts to get really, really hot.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's going to be
gross in there. That's where my mind has been at, just kind of all over the place today.
Okay, we'll get back to the state fair, but let's start with this. Tyler, you requested this because you're a big NASCAR guy. Let's talk about.
I'm a big Iowa guy. I'm a big Iowa guy, state of Iowa guy.
Let's talk about how successful this Iowa Cord 350 was. So Newton has the Speedway there, and they've hosted some NASCAR races. I think this is the second time they've come to town for this. And then IndyCar races there as well. They've always made it a big event. This year for the 350, they had over 30,000 fans there. They're expecting that it generated somewhere around $100 million of economic impact for Central Iowa. A majority of it obviously coming into Newton and the Jasper County area. There is currently nothing planned, but they're hoping NASCAR, because of the success of the event, is going to come back. I'm assuming they are. I don't know how much you guys follow NASCAR, but a few of the races leading up to this were pretty poorly attended. And I think this is a big win that they can keep going. And I think it's more unique than some of the other races that they're doing. And hopefully, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think this is one more successful event that Iowa can take in and hopefully attract some more big national events to come by?
Yeah, I think it's dope that we talked about it earlier in February, whenever that UFC fight was, that, some of these big events are starting to come to Iowa and give us a chance, and we're showing out and showing that we are interested. So I think it's a good sign, not only for us, because we're going to be able to see that, that economic impact, but also have some entertainment. And it's good for them because we're going to those events because, as a lot of people like to say, there's nothing to do in Iowa, so you might as well give us something to do.
I was looking at it, and am I correct in this, Tyler? NCAA tournament's not coming back until 2027.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is kind of crazy because I feel like, when was the last time they came? Was that 2022? No.
Nah, they came. They came when Iowa State lost to Pittsburgh in the NCAA tournament. I remember. Right? Yeah.
Sounds right.
So that would have been three seasons ago. So yeah, 2022.
And it seemed like we had a ton of people come, and it just seemed like a big gap in between those. Is there any other big national things that you guys want to see come to Iowa?
Yeah, a lot of stuff. But realistically, I thought the Dew Tour thing was really, really cool. I know there was a great showing of that. I'm not into skateboarding. I'm not into NASCAR either, but I just think having unique sports like that is pretty dang cool. I was not big enough to support like the constant stream of 30,000 fans. If you think of like NFL cities or a place like Green Bay or something like that, like that's just a super, super rare thing. And hence why there's only one market like Green Bay to support that many fans on, what would it be, 9 weekends out of the year. We can do something like this every once in a while. And I think it's obvious that when stuff does come around, we show out for it. So yeah, I would love to just hear that the Iowa Corn 350 is a every year type of thing. I love how they lean into the Iowa thing. It's just so, like, if you look at that picture, it's just nothing but fields beyond the racetrack. The winner got on top of his car and was eating a ear of corn. See that giant corn stalk like as the finish line. I think it's just dope. Really, really leaning into that and just kind of showing what's what. I mean, Iowa is by far the number one producer in corn and responsible for really feeding America, because all of Iowa's corn gets turned pretty much into feed for livestock and cows and all that stuff. And we know how much we all like to eat beef and all that. So can thank a lot. The country can thank, corn from Iowa for a lot of things. So I just think it's cool that they lean into it. And it was so well attended and so well, appreciated from what I've heard on social or seen on social media by a lot of people across the country. Another thing that comes to mind is obviously the Field of Dreams.
Yep, I was just going to say that.
Set in a cornfield and playing off the corn and all that stuff. But on a national scale, it's not like we're going to play off of, our music scene like Nashville does or whatever, or, just different things like that. That's what we have to play off of.
I think once that, Brady, you could correct me if you know, I think once that remodel of the Field of Dreams gets done, they're planning on doing a Field of Dreams game every year, right?
I think so. I know they've done it
twice, right?
They did it 3 times, twice or 3 times. But from what I heard, they're making like a whole complex down there. It's going to be like kind of the Cooperstown, if you know what that is, for the USSSA little kids. And try and do something like that. So bring some more people in and have a cool new facility and tournament to play out there.
I think the other thing is, because of the whole Caitlin Clark thing, I think they need to plan a WNBA exhibition game in Iowa every year.
I'll say one thing. They can definitely get more fans than like the Chicago Sky have consistently every single night in the WNBA space. That's probably the one true professional franchise that the state of Iowa could support.
Yeah, get a Des Moines team, make a trade exception, get Caitlin Clark on the team, and I guarantee you their attendance will be better than everyone else.
I mean, again, the Chicago Sky get put on TV for obvious reasons, and like you watch their games when it's not against the Fever, and there's like 17 people in there, and it's like what, Chicago's the third biggest city in the country. So I don't know. That's probably the one hope. But again, I do, we're not, Topeka, Kansas isn't getting these events, or Lincoln, Nebraska, Omaha. Obviously, has the College World Series and is a great city, but there's just a lot of similar markets that aren't getting these big time events, and I think it's pretty cool.
I agree.
We're starting to see more and more of them, and they always do well whenever they come. This is also the weekend of Hinterland, which is a Hinterland, which is a big deal to a lot of Central Iowans, and it was competing with that. So busy weekend in Iowa.
And it sounds like Hinterland had a pretty good showing, even though there wasn't amazing reviews from their 2024 festival. And Hinterland is working on making that venue a little bit better set up for the middle of Iowa summers and everything like that. And they still got a pretty good lineup this year. I mean, they had Lana Del Rey, they had Tyler the Creator there.
I know a lot of people that go to that, but I think we talked about something last week all I think about is like people being musty in there.
Oh, yep. I mean, I went in 2024 and it was hot and
getting
everyone
sweated on by a bunch of people, and
they oversold it 2024, and it sounds like they cut back tickets a little bit for this year. But it's really not super crowded. So thankfully we're able to keep your distance a little bit from people. But there's an aroma that comes up when you're in a crowd like that. So a little bit of sweat, some other substances. It gets pretty wild.
pot.
Yes. So, but I got to go see Chapel Roan last year, and Danny's jumping in. She said last year was amazing but hot. Chapel Roan last year and Noah Khan all in one day for a price that I would have spent, crazy amount of money if I just wanted to go see them individually. So it was a good deal. The festivals are normally a good deal if you can find one or two artists that you want to go see in one day. So how do you guys feel about doing some Iowa State Fair trivia? How much do you know about the history of the Iowa State Fair?
Oh, man.
Brady doesn't know anything because he's never been there.
I'll lock it in, though.
I just wanted to highlight some history to point out, and I thought it would be fun to do it in a trivia format. I'm not going to blame you if you guys don't know any of these answers because I didn't know a majority of them until I looked them up today. So, so the Iowa State Fair wasn't originally hosted in Des Moines. Do you know what town it was originally hosted in? And can you take a guess of what their budget was for the Iowa State Fair the first year?
I know what town.
What is it?
The only reason I know is because the word is in the name of the town.
Brady, you got to guess now.
So it starts with Fair?
Yes.
Fairfield?
Fairfield. There you go.
I'm going to go $500.
I'm going to say, 323, pretty close.
Ruined it.
I was going to say like 1,500.
It was hosted in Fairfield, Iowa. This is a drawing that was made of what they had going on. It was like late 1800s. I didn't pull up the year.
There's a little thing at the state fair that I've come across a couple of times that it's like a plaque that says it. So that's how I knew that. Yeah,
so it's Fairfield, and then honestly, it was a lot of like cities on the east side for a while. Fairfield, Cedar Rapids, Dubuque, Keokuk, and then it eventually just moved and stayed permanently in Des Moines. And $323 was how much they spent to host the first Iowa State Fair.
Do you guys know what else Fairfield, Iowa is known for?
No.
Thomas, you don't know?
No, what else is Fairfield, Iowa known for?
That like what do they call it? Transitional meditation.
Oh, yeah, where they bounce on their butts. The Maharishi. Yeah.
Yeah, where Jim Carrey attends often.
Yeah. I shouldn't say they bounce on their butts. They levitate. Because
Brady, have you ever heard about that?
No, it sounds like something you'd be into, though.
No, it sounds like something I watched late at night on YouTube.
There is a great if you're talking about the same YouTube video, there's a great YouTube video where the guys go to the community.
Yeah, yes theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you should look it up on a map. They have like a huge, like, looks like some type of, I don't know, Hindu or Buddhist, like,
So
compound.
because the Iowa State Fair is somewhat close to the Iowa caucuses, which kind of starts off the presidential campaigning and everything like that, it's become very, very popular for presidential candidates to visit the state fair and have obnoxious photos of them eating food at the state fair. Do you know what the first presidential candidate to visit the state fair is?
Trump. No, what what year?
That is a good question.
Give me a hint. Is he well known?
It was, yes, he's well known. He invented the interstate system.
I'm going Theodore Roosevelt.
He visited in 1954.
Oh, I don't even know.
There's a few presidents after Hoover. He went with Hoover.
I'm not good at presidents.
From Iowa. Yeah, I'm trying to. That's the one period of time I'm not good on my president.
I'll tell you guys. It's Dwight D.
Eisenhower.
Here's him with Hoover. He was the first presidential candidate to visit the Iowa State Fair to start campaigning.
Yeah, Iowa's one 4A experiment with the president from the state of Iowa didn't go too well.
No, he's not very well known. Well regarded, I guess I should say. Here's one where you guys could just guess. How many corn dogs do you think are sold every minute? What?
This is the one Brady for sure knows. Every minute, huh? There's probably 30 stands around there that sell corn dogs. 20?
Oh, there's got to be at least 30 stands that sell corn dogs. I feel like it's the easiest thing to get.
So I'm gonna say 60. I'm gonna say 120 corn dogs every minute.
Brady, what do you got?
I'm all the way off. 60 corn dogs every minute.
Oh, okay. So Tyler's changed his answer to 60. Brady.
60.
I'm going to go 43.
96 corn dogs.
Dang.
And those aren't just normal corn dogs either.
Those are the footlongs.
These are the ones you should get.
Those are the almighty corn dogs.
Go to the Campbell corn dog stand and get one of these footlong corn dogs. That's
Brady's about to be walking around with 2 of those in his back pocket.
Double fisting in the pockets as well.
I don't think you need 2 of them, but Brady, you do you. So this kind of comes with a disclaimer because the grandstands can't hold as many people as they used to be able to. But can you guess what musical act had the largest attendance in one day?
Rock concert?
Yeah. Yeah, you would consider it rock music. Yeah.
I would, because I'm not.
I think most people would consider it rock music. It's like soft rock.
Let's go with he's coming back this year, Leonard Skinner.
Not Leonard Skinner. Brady, you got a guess?
Like, how recent was this? Last 10 years?
No, it would have been, I think, like in the 60s. They've been back in the 2000s, though. Older band.
I cannot think of a single old. All I'm thinking of in my head is Beatles. I cannot think of any other band in my head.
Yeah, I'm getting thrown off with the soft rock now. I need a hint.
One of their songs is "Wouldn't It Be Nice?" Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. Kevin Love's uncle.
Wait, really?
Yeah, one of those dudes is Kevin Love's uncle.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had 25,400 people come to their show at the Iowa State Fair in 1975. I apologize for saying the 60s. It was 1975. And they came back in like 2005 or something like that. But yeah. But now the grandstands can only hold like 16,000 people. So I
think that second guy in is Mike Love.
Does kind of look like Kevin Love.
Kevin Love's uncle. Judging from these, yeah, that's definitely him. Anyways.
I think this is the last question. And this one, I'm just going to see how many you guys can name. In addition to the butter cow, there's been companion sculptures. Can you name 5 or just name as many as you can that you can remember that they did?
Caitlin Clark.
Yep. Do you remember what else they did that year with Caitlin Clark? Because they did Iowa athletes.
Brock Purdy.
No.
Iowa athletes. Sean Johnson has been one.
Sean Johnson has been one.
But there's another Iowa athlete with Caitlin Clark that year.
Yeah, I believe he got inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame that year.
Kurt Warner.
Yep.
So that's 2.
Didn't they do the guy with the pitchfork one time?
That was the first one that they did, Brady. They did American Gothic.
Bang.
And they would have done.
They've done tributes to some more well-known Iowa companies.
Have they done a tribute to any of the Norwalk superheroes?
They have. They did Superman for Brandon Routh.
I was talking about you, sweetheart. So Iowa companies. Musco Lighting.
No.
Pioneer.
No. You're getting on the right track, though.
Stein.
No.
Sukup.
No. I'm surprised you haven't.
Am I right there?
It's in the ag world.
John Deere.
Yes, they did a John Deere tractor one year. They've done a tribute to some attractions at the fair.
Ferris wheel.
No. Well, maybe.
Almighty corn dog.
I'll show you guys the list. They did American Gothic. They did Elvis Presley. They just did a bald eagle. They did a tribute to the Last Supper. Gentle Doctor. They did John Wayne. Peanuts. Harley Davidson. Tiger Woods. I don't know.
He was on a tear in 2005. Wasn't that when he was going nuts, like literally winning everything?
Yeah, but there's absolutely no Iowa ties there. Same with Harry Potter. They did a tribute to the moon landing one year. I think it was Neil Armstrong taking his first steps.
Some people would say the moon landing was staged.
So was that a fake? That was a fake butter sculpture in theory.
Yep.
I think it was Dr. Seuss's birthday or some sort of Dr. Seuss anniversary. So they did green eggs and ham one year. This is kind of meta, but they did a remake of the 1911 Butter Cow, the first one. And I believe that Duffy was the original butter sculpture person.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Butter Cow or something like that. That's what it says at that display.
Yeah. Snow White, tribute to the Lincoln Highway and Abraham Lincoln. They did tribute to Field of Dreams, tribute to Monopoly, Star Trek, which Captain Kirk was born in Iowa. So there's a little bit of an Iowa tie there. Laura Ingalls Wilder. They did a replica of the Solheim Cup when the Solheim Cup was in Des Moines that year. John Deere and the Waterloo Boy. Sesame Street tribute. They did the giant green slide. They did a tribute to the Music Man. Oh, Jack Trice was the Iowa athlete that I was forgetting. That's what it was. Kurt Warner, Caitlin Clark, and Jack Trice. Nighttime show host celebrities. I think it was like Johnny Carson, Jay Leno.
Johnny Carson's from Iowa.
Yep. And then they did a tribute to the Sky Glider that last year too. If you would have asked me this, I would have just remembered Caitlin Clark. So I don't blame you guys for not knowing a lot of these. So I feel like I went in 2006 and saw the Superman one. So. What do you think? Had they even announced? Like they've announced what they're doing this year, right?
That's what I was just about to ask. I haven't heard
it. Caitlin Clark again.
Who could Google it first? What do we got?
They're doing the CEO that was caught cheating at the Coldplay concert.
No way. That's a joke. Yeah, okay.
That'd be funny though. Let's see here. Toy Story characters in Andy's room.
Okay. Is that official? Okay, here we go. Yeah, Toy Story.
That'd be cool.
Like I said, I'm going to the fair on Monday with some out-of-town best friends. He lived in Iowa for 4 years, but would always come to town for school right after the state fair ended. So I'm kind of excited to do like the 4 or 5 like must do's at the state fair. Because
what do you consider those 4 or 5 must do's?
Well, you gotta go see the giant bull.
Okay.
You gotta go see the butter cow.
Okay.
You gotta get a glizzy on a stick covered in breading. You gotta do the giant slide. And one of my favorite things is that's the snake experience thing. But like we talked about a couple years ago, we are due
for character.
A new caricature. New character, sure. Which I'll have a fresh cut and everything for, so I'm really optimistic that I'm gonna look good in it.
I don't think that's how those work.
Well, again, last year he thought I was handsome last year. The other years, the people didn't think much of me.
All right, let's get into one last real estate article, and maybe we'll have kind of a discussion revolving around the CEO of Zillow, Jeremy Waxman, was interviewed by New York Times recently, and I read this article and I thought, well, one, Zillow has some really, really high goals, which I think are interesting. You could read that, but I thought there was some real estate stuff to talk about with it as well, too. He was talking about office exclusives and private sales because, for those of you that don't know, Compass Realty has a model right now that they have been pushing out where they encourage you to just list your house as an office exclusive, basically, and it's a Compass exclusive listing. But because of that, Zillow has reacted and not put those listings on Zillow right away because they're Compass exclusives. And when talking about it, he said the reality is with private listings, sellers will lose money. Sellers who sold privately left total over $1 billion on the table in 23 and 24. Do you guys kind of agree with that statement? I mean, Tyler, have you done a private sale before? Or have you witnessed someone do a private sale before they even got it listed?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like in most cases on those private sales that people got top dollar?
No, not most often, but playing devil's advocate, sometimes that's not their big focus, right? Like sometimes they don't want to clean up their house for showings and don't want to sign a bunch of documents with the agent and all that stuff. So playing devil's advocate, again, there's always a time and place for that type of stuff.
There's convenience to it too, as well. A lot of times when you're doing private sale, the buyer is willing to offer you terms that are attractive as far as flexible close date.
Or the person in some way, shape, or form, or kind of have that relationship with them, and you want them to have the house.
Mm-hmm. And with that too, there's more of a trust factor that comes in too. If you're selling it to someone you know that they're not trying to take advantage of you. They're not gonna make a bunch of difficulties happen over the inspection and everything like that. So there are definitely advantages.
But in situations where the seller's main goal is to get as much money for their house as possible, and that's their main and maybe their only goal, yes, most often they're losing out on some money, some way, shape, or form.
Brady, you have any opinions on private sales and why a seller would be attracted by something like that?
I mean, kind of just what Tyler said. They just don't really have to worry about any of the stuff that, you kind of have to think about when listing your house and getting it in top shape, especially if it's an instance where they're just selling it to like a family member. I could kind of see that.
You also don't have to deal with just the annoying parts of having your house on the market too.
People coming into your house that you don't know, having to leave, at 7 o'clock at night, all those different things.
Even the small stuff of like, I mean, the second I talk to sellers about it all the time, the second you put a sign in your yard, like people just think they're free to like hover around your house or walk the property even while you're there. Like people do some pretty wild stuff once your house is listed, and they try to pull off some really, really weird stuff. And if you have an opportunity to not have a sign in the yard, not have all that attention coming towards your house, that's pretty appealing to some people.
Not have your home's photos listed on the internet.
Yeah. The other thing about, like that too, with private sales, I mean,
they're private.
And it could just be a good way to somewhat test the market. You just have to be so confident about what the value of your home is before doing something like that too. Because I've had situations where people listed it on the open market for a price that ended up actually being a little too low, and it wouldn't have got bid up if it was a private sale, but because there was more buyers involved, it got bid up to what that price should have actually been. So sometimes you don't truly know the exact right price until you get it listed on open market. So he was asked about what's up.
Sorry, go ahead. I thought you were moving on. Go ahead.
Yeah. When he was asked about if there is a housing crisis on the way, he seemed to kind of just attribute to simple supply and demand. There's tons of homeowners that have really, really attractive interest rates, and interest rates have risen. So there's not much of an appeal factor for people to sell, because if they were to sell, they have to move into something else. Would have higher interest rates there. And on top of that, because of COVID, because of the pandemic, that just really, really made house prices increase a ton. And people that are looking to enter into the market, it has become very, very expensive, and incomes have not risen as much as home prices have. And then he also pointed to new construction, and he pointed since 2008, we still have not, on a national level, been building at the rate that we should be if you look at what we were building, at what pace we were building before 2008. Anything you agree or disagree with there?
Nope. Nothing I disagree with. All sounds about right. That last bit, despite purchases going down this year, Zillow website traffic has still grown. That's a little interesting, especially with all the emergence of like all the similar sites to Zillow, like homes.com made a huge push. I feel like these, or at least marketing wise.
This was kind of one of the most interesting facts from this article that I think that came out is, despite the fact that transactions have gone down on a national level and in Iowa in our market currently, he's still seeing statistics that there's plenty of people looking at houses online.
Yeah. And like, admittingly, obviously, a lot of people are truly just looking, and it's something they enjoy doing. But the more people you get like that, the more people that are eventually going to feel the urge to move. So to me, that shows that people are just itching to get into the game. And again, like we've talked about, and it might sound salesy to some people, as soon as interest rates do drop, there's going to be a flood of home buyers. Now, are those home buyers sitting there watching Zillow? And the reason for that fact, some of them for sure, some of them have no idea, but there's going to be a flood of home buyers that have been sitting, waiting on the fence, and just waiting for that extra nudge, I guess, of slightly lower interest rates to jump. And then they're going to find that so many other people are trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. And I think, they didn't talk about it in this article, but I've seen other articles that talk about kind of sort of that magic number, at least what people think in their head is as soon as they get to 5.5, that's kind of when the floodgates, so to speak, are going to open. So, I mean, my advice to people would be as soon as it looks like they're starting to trend there, that's when I would hop in. Because the real question is going to be whatever market you're in is what's the inventory looking like once we start to get to that. Because it's just that number's going to slowly start to dwindle down and down. And once the inventory starts going down more than it is at right now, that's when we're going to start to see prices go up again. And who knows? I mean, I don't have any crystal ball to tell you when we're going to see interest rates go down. But the longer it takes, obviously, the more I think we're going to see inventory go up. And who knows if we get to an inventory point where we actually see prices start to go down in Des Moines, Iowa. I don't know. Prices are still holding strong in our market, but it definitely is going to be interesting. Brady, any thoughts or feelings on that?
No, I think you guys pretty much said what I was going to say. There's going to be a lot of people when rates go down jumping in. There's positives and negatives to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, I mean, we've talked about this on the podcast a ton of times. It's extremely hard to time the market. So it should be more so a question of what can you afford now, and is the home that you can afford something that meets your needs? And if it is, you should really, really think about buying now. Like in general, it's just
time spent in the market is better than timing the market.
Right. Because, I mean, if you were hypothetically to buy something now that you can afford,
your values are going to shoot through the roof once interest rates do drop. And if they don't drop, then here in Central Iowa, your home's probably going to appreciate at minimum 5% a year. And regardless, that's better than paying rent in most cases. Most cases. Right. Sometimes you pay rent for $300 a month or $500 a month. And if that's the case, I'd continue renting. But I also know that's not the case in most situations, in almost all situations. But
that's all I had planned. Tyler, did you get a chance to look at the weather forecast? Is it gonna clear up for you?
No, it's supposed to, on the weather app, it says it's supposed to rain literally every single day but tomorrow. My buddy comes in late Friday night and leaves Wednesday morning, and every single day is supposed to be thunderstorms. But recently I feel like everything's been happening at night or in the morning, and like I'm sitting here and the sun's coming out right now where I'm at. So hopefully just some morning showers. I mean, I saw in the news yesterday morning that there's like one little part of Iowa down by Ottumwa somehow that's still on the drought map, still has some type of drought going on. I don't understand how, but compared to last year, we're pretty much everywhere. I guess it probably has to do with like the water table, right? Like how much water is in that. But the whole state pretty much is free of drought conditions now.
I will tell you, you're probably not a fan of the weather because of what you have going on this weekend. But I have a home inspection that I'm going to later today, and I am somewhat happy that it rained a ton because the foundation is in question, and we will be able to see if they get water in their basement. So all of this rain, when showing houses, has been a point that I have brought up to people is, hey, it's rained a ton. And if they were to have water in their basement or signs of moisture, we would be seeing it. So
yeah, I showed a house the other day, and the buyer brought his mom along, and she was concerned about the dehumidifier being on in the basement.
Is a dehumidifier a bad sign, Tyler, in your opinion?
No, I asked her, do you have a dehumidifier going on in your basement right now? And she said, yeah. I have a dehumidifier going on in my basement as well. So I just think it makes things more comfortable.
What if you see a bunch of mouse traps set up in the basement?
That's a little bit more cause for concern, I think. Because usually you don't just like set those out as like preventive maintenance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
what about 2 sub pumps?
My neighbor, the house I'm looking at right now, has 3.
What?
Apparently. and he's like down this little hill from me. So I think he takes on all my floodwaters. It kind of depends. I mean, I've seen plenty of 2. You know, if they're doing the job,
There's nothing to worry about.
yeah,
Tyler,
it seems like they fixed the issue.
Brady, you have any plans this weekend?
We got some baseball games. Coaching Rolling Story. They should have a great field up there. And that's about it. Hanging out. That'll probably take up most of my day. Might try and get some fair action in.
You gonna give me a birthday present?
Oh, I'll get you a birthday present.
You should.
He keeps asking people for birthday presents, and I didn't get a birthday present.
Collecting.
See, I'm always one to accept a present. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty giving dude. You guys know the different things I do, and we won't get into that. You know, I contribute to society, I would like to think, on the giving side. But with that said, I've never been one to turn down a present. I will gladly accept a gift. If you want to give me, if you're so gracious and kind to give me a gift, I accept gifts for sure. And I accept those gifts. I'm 30 years old, gonna be 30. Those gifts can be money. So I'll take a $20 bill from you. I'll take a Venmo from you. Any of those things. And okay. I promise to like accept it very graciously and like be very thankful for said gift. But anyways, that's my spiel.
We'll end it on that. We'll end it with happy birthday to Tyler. Thank you, everyone that has watching. Please leave comments. Click on that link in the episode description to follow us on all the different formats. I would love to see, we've got 5 Apple reviews right now, and I would love to see a few more of those. So
we should put together a shirt
for the scoop?
For the stew and hand out 10 to 10 people that leave us a review.
Okay.
Every person. That's a thought. Let's put
I'll tell you what.
Let's bookmark that.
Let's get a review in. If someone's watching this, leave us a review, and we will start the process of making T-shirts. And we will make sure you're one of the people that get the T-shirts, and then we'll start running a contest to give out more. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
It's been a great week. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.